raising chickens, guineas, and he has raised other animals, geese as well. And I'll let April talk a little more about what she's raised. The topic focus is, of course, gardening with guineas, but her presentation will go into more depth than just guineas. We have a presentation we'll put on the screen as we talk. So easy to follow. And with that being said, I would ask during the presentation that you silence your cell phones, and that if you do have a conversation more than a quick question that you want to carry on in consideration of your neighbors, please take it, either wait for the presentation to finish, or if you need to talk in depth, take it outside of the tent. That's all I would ask once we get started. Okay? Here we go. With that being said, here's April.
April Howington, and I've been raising chickens and guineas for almost 10 years, and I enjoy them a lot. I kind of settled in on chickens and guineas, but I did start off with ducks, and had a few geese, turkeys, peacocks, peafowl, but I really like guineas, and I really like chickens, and that's about all I can handle. So anyway, she wants to start this. This is kind of in order with what the DVD thinks about. And do you think, if you have a question, I think if you wanted to ask a question while this is going, it would be good, because you'll probably forget by the end. So it's just a lot of pictures of our birds and some ideas about coops, and some ideas about, gardening with different kinds of animals. Can y'all see that? Okay. We have a lot of guineas. We have, I probably have about 23 different colors. There's over 30 colors of guineas right now. A man named Ralph Winters in Iowa is the major breeder of guineas in the United States. And he's the one responsible for all the colors that are going on today. He's a top breeder. He's a good man. He has a lot of nice birds. And these are some little ones here. Just raise them all together. These I got from Ralph this year. It's some new colors. They got blue, buff, just all different colors. This is a coral blue. This is a violet. This is a slate guinea. This is a royal purple. No, the color's not showing good here. This is a powder blue. And this is a buff June dot. And then I was just going to tell you that guineas like to lay in these. If you want to stop it for a minute, can't see it here. Oh, guineas like to lay in these massive nests, and like 4, 5, 6 guineas will lay all in one nest. Maybe even 15 or 20 will lay in one nest, and then they'll decide to sit on it. Maybe 4 or 5 guineas will sit on it all at the same time, and it'll just be this huge conglomeration of hundreds and hundreds of eggs. But they'll hatch them. They'll sit on them and hatch them. They're not very good mothers. They tend to leave them. Lead them out into the wet grass in the mornings, or they'll go roost and leave them on the ground at night. They're just not really very good mothers. Sometimes you get good ones, but a lot of times you don't. So anyway, go ahead. We started this big garden here. We have some other families that help us, and we let our guineas run through this garden all the time. The next few shots are just going to be, pictures of the guineas working the garden. They eat the bugs. They don't mess with your plants. They don't pull up your seedlings. They don't. Very seldom do they eat leaves. They might eat a few fresh leaves once in a while, but they're not destroyers like chickens are. Chickens will go through there and just destroy your garden. I've never had a guinea eat a tomato or a watermelon or anything like that. They like the bugs. They eat ticks, grasshoppers, Japanese beetles, ants, not fire ants, but they just love bugs, and they like a high protein type of diet. They need more protein than a chicken does. And they just walk in among your plants and just take the bugs right off the leaves for you. And of course, I'm a vegetable gardener. I don't do a lot of flowers and stuff, but I do know that they're okay with flowers and stuff too. This was when we had the big rain a couple of years ago. We had just this huge garden with all this foliage, and it was just wet all the time, and the leaves were big, and And then we had these 2 years in a row where it was drought and it was really bad. But they just walk in among your garden. We'll stop through these garden shows here. Okay, and there's my pumpkin from last year. Okay, here's some little ideas about coops, raising guineas. These are like hospitals or brooders. This is a hoop coop you make out of cattle panels. This is a pen made out of chain link, like you would buy at Tractor Supply. You can buy netting and put on top, or you can, figure out a way to put your roof on. I'm just kind of giving you some ideas of how to fasten wood onto chain link panels that you would buy, something that even a woman could do without, a lot of carpentry skills, which I can have. This is a pipe pen made out of Schedule 40 PVC pipe. That's the inside of my barn, but it's too dark. Then you got your mobile chicken coop stuff, like we have Glenda and Josh and Rick here today. This is one of Josh's. These are Josh's that he displays. That's his place. And here's a display with chickens in it. And then I was going to tell you all that I sell hatching eggs all over the United States. If you guys ever want to try to hatch your eggs, just some eggs yourself, call me and I'll ship you some eggs, or I'll meet you somewhere and give you some eggs, and you guys can try to hatch them out. They take 26 to 28 days to hatch. And this is a problem that you had this year. This is a little first aid thing that you can do with guineas if they have spraddled legs. If you'll stop it, I'll tell them what that is first. A spraddled leg is like, if you ever have, and sometimes chickens do too, but their legs will, when you first hatch them, their legs kind of go out to the side like this and they don't get around very well. Most of the time it's because the protein in your feed is not high enough, or your protein, or the feed that you're giving them is rancid. The oils in your feed can go rancid, and this happens with chicken feed as well. And when your oils go rancid in your soy or your corn or whatever's in your feed, it can cause leg problems in chickens and in guineas. It's a vitamin D deficiency. Your selenium is not stable in that atmosphere. So you always want to buy fresh feed. Bud Moore's feed is excellent feed. I looked at it. Josh's feed is excellent feed. That organic or non-GMO stuff is really good. I have a lot of animals and I can't afford to feed organic, but I do have my own feed milled, which is fresh. It's not heat processed. And I think that's a lot of it is your commercial feeds are heat processed. They're put through a press and they're formed into a pellet. And then if you have crumbles, your crumbles are further processed again and they crush the pellet into a crumble. So feed is highly processed, and anytime you heat oils, well, you guys know vegetable oil, a lot of oils are not stable under heat. So that's why I have mine fresh milled. It's just a ground. It has soy in it, and it has corn and wheat, molasses, fish meal, different things like that. And it's, just a regular feed, but it's not heat processed. And I will tell you this, that a lot of commercial feeds have pork. That is the animal protein that they put in pork because of the mad cow disease. So I don't know if any of y'all don't want to eat pork, you might not want to feed it to your chickens. But there are other alternatives out there, like Josh's